another 2 trays worth of potato cubes dehydrating here, and I do have another likely 2 trays worth on my stove being blanched before they get put on, but there was no reason why I couldn't start these as they were already ready. So a lot of you have been asking what happens after I dehydrate them. Okay, here are some that I have completed. This was the first batch that I used a potato chip maker to cut, and then I cut them by hand. I decided that that was a fair amount of work, so I went out and bought this little cuber. It's just a little Starfrit model, and I believe I got it at Walmart or Canadian Tire, can't remember. Anyway, so that's the first batch. This is the second one I made with the cuber, and I don't think that's what they call it. And both of these are russet potatoes. So I have kept them separate from the new batch that I'm making, which is my white potatoes that I purchased a 50-pound bag at Costco, and I'm working through that bag. It is a fair amount of work, and at this point I have just put plastic lids on each one. I haven't determined how I'm going to store them. More than likely I will vacuum seal, but these have little hard edges, so I may have to put them in something to prevent the hard edges from cutting the plastic. So they may have to go in a paper bag first or an additional plastic bag. So that is the process that I'm using to store potatoes that have been dehydrated, and I understand that if they're packaged correctly, they can last up to 20 years. Now, I have no intention of keeping them for 20 years. I am processing them more for the days that potatoes are no longer available. I will continue to use fresh and put these in my pantry stash for the day that they may be needed. Okay, so I do have, at least half that 50-pound bag yet to go, and perhaps even more than that, and I may even buy more. But I'm thinking of doing carrots. I've put celery in my garden, and I will do celery if they actually grow in time. It may be too late in the season by the time I planted them, but if I do get any harvest, I will be dehydrating my celery plants as well. Oh, and does it make any difference that I have separated the russet potatoes from the white potatoes? Probably not, but I've decided to keep them separate anyway. The russets are usually a more starchy potato, but by the time they're dehydrated, I don't know how much starch is going to be left. Okay, and quite early this morning I got a phone call saying that my delivery was, they were just looking for me to open the door so that they can deliver a package that I ordered last week. It was not that long ago actually, and I did say that I was going to order some wheat berries for long-term storage. I have stashed a fair amount of ground flour, but don't know how long that'll last me a good long while, but I don't know when flour will be next available and what the shortage will be. We know there's going to be a shortage of flour, so I have really stocked up on pasta and my all-purpose flour, and I decided finally to order some wheat berries. First time ever. I do not have a mill, but I'm saving up for one. So once again, this is not for immediate use, so I'm not too terribly worried about having a mill today. And it has arrived, and I ordered a 44-pound bag and a 5-pound bag, and the reason for that is to get it up to a certain dollar amount so that I didn't have to pay for shipping. So that was awesome, and I have started to vacuum seal them in pouches. Now I don't measure and say I'm going to put X amount of berries or flour in a pouch. What I do is that as many as I can put in a particular pre-cut bag is what I use. And when it comes to my flour, I do keep a 1-gallon jar available, and I refill that. That is my go-to jar of flour that I refill as needed. And I know it takes me like 6 cups of flour to make bread when I make bread. That's the regular white loaf, and it's supposed to make 2 loaves, so I split it into 3, but it takes at least 6 cups of flour, and that gallon jar does deplete fairly quickly if I make pasta or if I make bread. So that's what I keep topped up, and the rest I keep packaged. So I'm thrilled to have gotten my wheat berries. As I say, this is the first time. When I get my mill, I will test grinding them to see what that's like, and I have determined that I'm going to get a Wonder Mill Junior, simply because I think it's probably the best product on the market without going to electric, and well, one of the best. It's not the best, but it is one of the best and most versatile products on the market, and certainly not cheap, but I prefer that over getting a KitchenAid attachment or one of the lesser expensive ones that may not last. This should last for me forever, so I'll get it, buy it once, and hopefully be happy with it. Anyway, that's my update for today. Hope you enjoyed that. This is Tony from Her Homestead Skills, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.